providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
You guys should see the guy that does that voice.
Why? Is it a little old woman?
You'd love him. It'd shock you. Hey, good morning. Hi, everybody. How are you?
Well, now I want to know what he looks like.
I'm not going to tell you. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing. That's right. The man with the big voice. He's cool. I hope you're doing really, really, really great on this Sunday morning, August 13th. Yes, the fair is still going on. If this is your first time to join us, Caregiver Crossing is a show brought to you by Joy's House, presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates. Glad you're here. This show is created just for you, the family caregiver, and the people who love them. We're right here with you every Sunday morning discussing the joys, the pains, the highs, and the lows of caregiving. All of them, all the feels. That's what we're here for. I'm Terry Stacy, by the way.
I'm Tina McIntosh.
And I am Canda.
Canda
I
Hadar.
like that. I'm Candace Hadabaugh.
You didn't even know your own name.
Wake up, child. Past episodes of the show at caregivercrossingradio.org, and be sure to visit us at Facebook and give us a like and a quick follow. This is going to be the best place to keep up to date with all things Caregiver Crossing. If you enjoy the content and want to hear more of it or want to hear something different, who we should invite to the show, if you got any kind of ideas, give us a call at 317-254-0828, or you can email tina@joycehouse.org.
You know, I've gone back and listened to some of our past episodes. They're pretty good. Like we give good information here on this show.
We do. And I think it's super fun when people reach out to us and say, hey, I really got something from X, whatever it might be.
Do we have anybody that we're following up with today?
We do. Sally's not going to come in, but we're going to read an email that she sent.
Fantastic.
That's it. That's all you have to do. Just send us a note, call, whatever you need to do. But these ladies are glad to answer your questions, your caregiver questions.
Yeah, we'll do
Whatever
our
it
best.
Between the three of us, I think we know some things, or we know people who know things, or we make them up.
Wait a minute. Did she just say we make them up?
She's on your staff.
And has been
She's on your staff. Yeah, for a long time.
Listen, I'm all for making things up if they help. That's called innovation.
Oh, is that what that's called? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of innovation, how is the Indiana State Fair going?
Innovative. It's all about basketball this year. All about basketball and how basketball and the Indiana State Fair kind of connect the dots between the two. When basketball arrived in Indiana, it was the first year of the State Fair, and they've connected the two. And there's clinics, and there's food, and there's people and animals. You would love it.
Do you miss playing professional basketball, Terry?
I do every day.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it right now and starting to get teary.
Yeah. That's a lie. Terry never played professional basketball. I don't even know if she can shoot. If she can shoot a ball.
I broke my finger playing as a Knightstown Panther at basketball player in the 6th grade.
Terry, I feel like you should write a book.
And I broke my finger and I never went back. I cried, and the coach was like, "Get up,
Rub some dirt on it,
it's a
kid.
finger. Let's go. Put a Band-Aid on it. Let's get you back out there." And I was like, "I'm never coming back."
But you only started with 10, and when you lose one, I feel like, from a percentage perspective, you're down 10%.
Yeah.
You know what Terry is a professional in? She is a professional in eating fillets.
Oh.
And today is
filet
what?
mignon.
Yeah.
Are you saying?
Yes, it's National Filet Mignon Day.
Best filet you ever had?
Oh, you're asking?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Where's the best filet you ever had?
So I was at, I can't remember the steakhouse's name.
Ruth Chris.
No, I've never been there.
What?
I've never been
We
there.
shall
It's a
go.
good one
I'm down.
for a good filet.
I like steak. I like beef over chicken
Yes.
or even fish, really.
I don't know. Good salmon. You got me there.
yeah.
But how about you? Best ever?
It'd be Ruth's Chris.
Yeah. You really can't go wrong.
You really can't go wrong. I mean, it costs you some money. It's got to be a special occasion at our house every 2 years. Like, it's going to be every 2 years the special occasion that we can go.
Are you two like steak sauce girls?
No.
Or are you just the meat?
Put it on and guess what? Well done.
What? You ruined it. You just paid a lot of money for well done steak.
I'm sure the chef in the back who's making a well done filet will go, oh, who in the world would order this?
Terry Stacy.
I think that's a bad idea, but yeah, now I'm hungry. It is also National Prosecco Day.
Sign me up.
Oh,
Prosecco
not a fan.
with the steak.
Just charcoal your filet and drink some water. And Candace
Milk.
and I.
Go ahead, you and Kanda. You go ahead and go on over.
All right. You want to know some other highlights?
Yeah,
If you want to tell us.
Do you have them in front of you?
I do.
What are they?
These are fun. So 1889, the patent number 407,709 was granted to William Gray for what would become the payphone.
Oh, the payphone. I was in North Carolina a couple weeks ago and I saw a payphone on the side of the road, just laying down on its side, like it had given up.
Oh,
Because it probably did.
give up. We gave up on it.
That's sad.
Are there any more payphones other than that one?
Yeah, there's that one in Boone, North Carolina.
No, they'd be at a gas station if you saw them.
I've seen them in people's houses before, just kind of as a novelty.
Like the stop signs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a stop sign in my house.
Where'd that come from?
Down the corner.
I can't tell you.
Right over there.
All right, I'm going to give you another one. And in 1994, the Cranberries, you remember them,
Yep.
performed their single Zombie.
That's one of my favorites.
It's a good one.
It's good.
Yeah. I don't know why these seem important to tell you about, but you know what?
Because it's a good way to start the Caregiver show.
Yeah, it makes all kinds of sense. A little reminiscing.
Right.
We are also in the middle of air conditioning appreciation days. And so what we want you to do is check on the folks that you know who may not have air conditioning, like Terry and Candace and myself in studio. We've been complaining about it for weeks. I know it's going to be fixed soon. I just have faith. But we've had some hot days and we want to make sure that everybody is being safe out there and they might just need you to go and check on them. So please make sure you're doing that.
We are also excited. You've heard us talking about this, but Tifa Snow is coming in October, and we are so excited. She will be hosting her at the Shelton Auditorium on the Butler University campus, again, on October 13th. So stick around, stay tuned, Facebook, our website, call us, email us for more information, but we'll share the details as they unravel.
Okay. And it's officially time to nominate the deserving caregiver in your life.
Do it.
If that is you, nominate yourself. Do it. You deserve it, because we are hosting the Deserving Caregiver Awards with nominations open right now through the end of September. So time's running out. Just a few weeks left. Well, you've got a little time. We're going to choose 4 winners and announce them in November in celebration of National Caregivers Month. And that is awesome. And possible prizes. I like the word possible. Maybe we're going to get, could be massages, dinner on us, fully prepped meals, the chance to join us for recording of a Caregiver Crossing show. And you can even come and live with Tina for 6 weeks.
And the goat.
Maybe.
At the goat farm.
It's possible. It's like LED lights that they say will last
Right.
up to 50 years. Yeah, up to. Like it might be a week, it might be 50
Right.
years. Anyway, we've got to take a break. We will be back here in Caregiver Crossing in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. You are listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you by Joy's House in partnership with Cardon and Associates, with 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest, and more than 40 years of senior living experience. Cardon and Associates provide residents with the best senior living options and personalized care. Visit cardon.us for more information and to find a community near you. Stay put. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing after the break.
Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. I am Candace Hattabaugh in studio with Terry Stacy and Tina McIntosh. Thank you all for sticking around. And thank you to everyone who's reached out to us with your questions and your kind words. We love hearing from you as always, and we're here to help. This week's question comes from Sally in Fishers. Sally says that she's caring for her father, who has started to wander in the middle of the night. He has fallen in the past, and she's worried that she won't hear him one night, and he's either going to get hurt or he's going to get out of the house. She's been a longtime listener and so glad that we're back on the air. Thank you, Sally. We're here to help. So what do we want to say to her?
It's hard. That's so hard.
That's a difficult one.
And here's the thing, Sally, is we got to figure out what some solutions are for you so that you can be getting restful sleep. Because if not, you're going to end up having issues, right?
Right.
Or at least be cranky. I mean, but true, serious medical issues, or just not be able to tolerate and love the way that you want to. And so there are some things out there. I know, Candace, you've seen some of these things over time, both, here at Joy's house, we don't have people sleeping like this, but just throughout our work with families. Is there anything that is top of the mind for you?
I do. I remember working in the nursing homes, and we had people that would get up and wander. So we had bed alarms, so that you put it under their sheet or under the Chuck's pad or anything that's there, and it's pressure censored. So as soon as Dad stands up, it's gonna make this very alarming sound. But they also make them for the floor as well now. So when Dad puts his feet on the floor and puts pressure on it, it's also going to sound. So that's something that will help alert you before he's even out of his room.
I'm going to tell you this. I have 3 kids, and with my first 2, I did not sleep well for a myriad of reasons. But the biggest one was I was afraid something was going to happen to them. They were going to stop breathing in the middle of the night. It just was my, some would say irrational fear because it didn't happen, but it was my reality. And so by my 3rd child, I got one of those bed alarms. And this one didn't tell you when the child got up because we're talking about a newborn, but it would go off if the child stopped breathing.
Oh. Wow. That's amazing.
I slept so well and was such a better mother to her and her siblings because I was sleeping.
What an incredible device. I've
Truly.
never heard of. I did not know they made something like that could actually go off if the child stops breathing.
Yeah. And now on occasion, if she were to roll a certain way, like maybe get too close to the edge, it might go off. And I think the same would be for this, as we're talking about Sally's dad, you might have that as well. But isn't that better than what you're doing right now?
Yeah.
And they're not cheap, but think about it like, a good night's sleep is definitely worth a couple $100.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how much these are, but for me, that's how I had to look at it with my child.
Well, they used to or especially Alzheimer's and some of those when you start to wander a little bit, there was something you could get. You could get a tracker.
I'm looking it up now. Actually.
Are you? Mm-hmm. We had them on years ago.
Yeah.
When they first became something. Was it through the fire department?
John, somebody did it. I'm remembering him in studio with us.
I believe it was a first
so nice.
responder of some sort that you could get them for free. And it was not only just for the elderly or those with Alzheimer's, but also for children that might tend to wander.
Yeah. So Sally, reach out to your local fire department.
It is fire department.
But it also looks like Amazon has some door alarms.
So door alarms, we didn't talk about that, but door alarms, yes. So if somebody were to open the door, the alarm would go off.
Yes.
Same goes for, I don't know. Yes, that's good. Except if my parent, and Sally, I don't know everything that's going on with your dad, so forgive me here, but if my parent is living with a dementia and I'm worried about anything that might happen in the house, they're leaving the stove on, they're cutting things in the kitchen, I don't know, anything.
Right.
The door alarm isn't going to help me as much because they're still in the house.
Yeah.
But yes, there are door alarms that do make a difference.
And I was recently talking to one of my friends whose uncle is out of state and is starting to progress in his diagnosis. And they've had to, he still lives at home, surprisingly, by himself. But they've had to unplug the stove and, the microwave and things like that because he was starting to cook and leave things on. So they unplugged everything. He's got a friend that lives down the street, so they provide all of his meals. So that's probably a drastic, Sally. And if he's living with you, you probably can't unplug the stove and things like that. But for the door, the locks that take the key to unlock and lock, you can always put one of those on so he can't unlatch it and leave the front or the back door.
Do you remember and I don't know how much time, are we running close to time?
We've got a few minutes.
I just want to mention, then I did not mean to interrupt you, Candace, but I just wanted to mention, I learned from this show years ago, we had someone on that told us to put a black mat in front of the doors, because when you have dementia, that looks like a hole, and you won't cross that black mat. And I don't know how true that is, but I do remember that conversation.
Yeah, because it looks like a hole. Yeah, interesting. I'd like to know from people if that works or not.
Me too.
Well, we've got the black mat down at our front door, and I've helped guests out to the car, and they'll kind of tap to see if it's
that's a
solid.
hole?
So it seems like it's legit.
It's all the things that we have to think about, you know.
And everybody's different.
You know, you mentioned the neighbors, Candace, knowing, I think that's another thing is just talk with your neighbors. And so if they see anything suspect, they can be on alert. But middle of the night is different. And so I guess another question that I would have, Sally, for you is, and I wish you were on the phone and we could ask the question, but what is he doing during the day? Because if you wear him out during the day, he'll sleep better at night. And how often, Candace, have we heard that here at Joy's house? Like, please just make my mom tired. Like, keep her up so that when she comes home, we can have dinner, bathe, and she is out for the night because that's better for everybody.
Yep.
So, you know, in your area, and I think Sally's here in Fishers, you know, in the Indianapolis area. But of course, Joy's house, we are in Broad Ripple and at the University of Indianapolis. And then there are other great adult day services as well in greater Indianapolis and throughout the state of Indiana. And so you can look up adult days at IADS.net. That's IAADS.net, right? Indiana Association of Adult Day Services, IAADS.net, I believe it is. But look that up, and there is Find a Center near you. And so you can look into that too. But keeping somebody busy during the day, because let's be honest, Dad's home sleeping all day. You come home, he wants to be up with you. And then, you know, here we are at night and you're like, why is he not going to sleep? Well, it's because he slept in his recliner in front of Wheel of Fortune all day long.
Exactly.
So thank you so much for calling in. I know we have to take a break here in just a minute, but I said Wheel of Fortune and it made me think. I just went to Game Show Battle.
Oh, the place where you can take like a great birthday party or a great team building.
It was so much fun. We went for a friend's birthday party
In Fishers?
In Indianapolis, Castleton area.
Okay.
And you go, we had 6 people that went. You break into 2 teams. So we had 2 teams of 3. And you play, they can't call them Wheel of Fortune, but you play like, you know, Wheel of Letters. I can't remember what they called it. But we played basically the games that would have been Wheel of Fortune. We played that Plinko. Right?
Oh, Plinko, right, where you drop the...
You have to climb up like this ladder and drop the Plinko down and try and win. You roll these gigantic die. We played all kinds of games. It was the most fun.
That's cool.
And I'm so sorry for all the people I've judged in my life who are on a game show that can't think of a simple answer, like name a famous author. I was an English major and I was like, Shakespeare was about the only thing I could come up with. I couldn't think of a single author. So
Pressure.
Oh, a
lot of pressure.
Total pressure. Hey, speaking of asking questions, we love it when you send us your situation and either request for advice like some of our callers, you know, or some of our emailers have done recently, and then we've been able to call them to follow up and have a conversation. So please do that. You can send that to me at tina@joyshouse.org. We also love it when you send in your advice because let's be honest, some of the best people to hear from are people who have walked in your shoes when you're a family caregiver. And so if you've got advice and experience that you've been through that something really worked well or didn't work well, email that to me, again, tina@joyshouse.org, because we want to hear from you. We want to build a community here. We also have some big things on the horizon for Joy's House that we'll be telling you about in the weeks and months to come. And we really are interested in building a community for family caregivers. We think that's imperative where we are in our lives right now in the state of Indiana. And so please do that, tina@joyshouse.org. Now, what we want to talk about with you right now is an article that Candace had found for us about hospital at home trends. And so the article is titled, Hospital at Home Trend Means Family Caregivers Must Be, or Family Members Must Be Caregivers Ready or Not. And I think this is a fascinating conversation. I don't know much about this trend.
This is brand new to me.
Okay, so here's what we're hearing is that there's this hospital at home pilot program that I believe came out of maybe Mayo Clinic. And it's a pilot program that would outfit someone's home with equipment and send clinicians to help make visits so that if you have a longer stay in a hospital, You don't have to be in the physical hospital. You can hospital at home. I hear that, and at first I think that's brilliant, but there's more.
Doctor visits and things like that have been around since the dawn of time. But this hospital, the more detailed needs, I'm confused by that.
Yeah, I certainly don't have all the answers. I do know from reading this article, and this article, by the way, came out on NPR, and it came out last month, July 18th, 2023, and written by Kat McGowan. And in this article, it talks about things like oxygen tanks and, all of your medications and everything, the monitors, things that you would normally get in a hospital setting would be in your home. But here's the problem. From a patient perspective, if you're confident in your caregiver, it sounds great, right? Because it's like, of course, I don't want to stay in the hospital bed. I mean, anybody who's had an extended stay in a hospital knows the food. I know you try the hospitals. It's not great. You can't usually have things from the outside brought in because then you're not able to log it the same way as when you order it on their, line in their cafeteria. You know that you never get a good night's sleep because people are in and out all day, all night, whether it's to collect the trash, God bless you, or it's to check your vitals or give you your meds or simply wake you up to ask you how you're doing. My favorite was when my dad was in the hospital. Many of you know he passed away May of this year. He was in the hospital, and one of the doctors came in, didn't announce himself, shook him, what seemed to be violently is a harsh word, but vigorously. He shook him and woke him up and then said, "Ken, are you having any problems sleeping?" And I thought, dude, you just woke him up to ask him if he's having a hard time sleeping.
Sometimes that common sense isn't the word that I want to use, but I'm going to use it. Common sense doesn't seem to be there for our carers.
I mean, you're on a mission and time, schedule.
Yeah,
I get it. But so this article talks about how the hospital at home programs are for people who are sick enough that need the attention a hospital provides, but stable enough to be cared for at home. But here's where the catch is for me, is that the family member, and that's the title of this article, becomes the caregiver, whether they are ready for it or not. And so, these are unpaid, untrained family caregivers who have to take on the responsibility of overseeing their person at home. And I don't know. What do you think?
This says that the programs don't ask caregivers to handle the medical tasks, such as dealing with an IV, but they might need to bring in the glasses of cold water in the middle of the night or help a weak person turn in bed, which not everyone is trained at. So that could lead to injury for themselves. Changing in clothing or getting to the bathroom. In the hospital, a nurse's aide does those tasks, but in the home, the caregiver is going to be doing it.
Okay, I hear that, and I can do all that, but I'm not a nurse, so I can do the duties of an aide, right, or a CNA. I got that. But in the hospital, the nurse is right there in case my loved one needs critical, time-sensitive care, and at home, I don't have that.
Right.
So here's my concern is that a lot of hospitals are going to start to push this hospital at home program because it saves them dollars.
It sure does.
I do wonder because, there's this whole, I don't know, what is it? You can't go back into the hospital within 30 days of a stay or the hospital doesn't get reimbursed in the same rate or something like that.
It sounds like the COVID pandemic is what really brought this idea into the mainstream. And in 2020, the government changed the rules so that hospitals could be paid the same amount to treat patients in home versus in the hospital. So this is an interesting topic, and we're going to invite Sarah Reinhardt with AARP on the show to give us a little more details about this here in the next coming weeks.
Yeah, I'm just not, I don't know, I'm not sold on it. It makes me very nervous, and it sounds too good to be true.
And I think caregivers are noticing it. And that's why between 10 to 62% of people are turning down this option for care.
How many?
Between 10 and 62%.
That's a very large range.
It's a large range, but 62% is a lot of people.
Yeah. I just don't know. I'll go back to this whole thing with my dad. And if they had said, hey, you can take him hospital at home, I think I would have declined.
Yeah, I think.
I also, as the caregiver, need a break. And in the hospital, I know that someone is really caring for for that person. And so I think this is thinking a lot about the patient and less about the caregivers. It actually says in the article that and this is something that I believe Sarah had said from AARP, the family caregivers are completely invisible. They're not turning to wife, daughter, husband and saying, can you handle this? That's the discussion we think needs to happen. And that comes from Sarah at AARP. So true.
I'm wondering if the nursing and nursing aid shortage that we've been hearing about goes hand in hand with this. I wonder.
And that's not mentioned
I didn't see
that I saw in this article. Ooh, that's a really interesting thought. Okay, so when we come back here in a minute, can we talk about some things that if somebody is considering this, and I guess this could go for a hospice at home too, but some things that we would recommend for the caregivers to do or consider if this comes up?
Let's do it.
Okay, we will do that. We're going to take a break. You are listening to Caregiver Crossing. Again, I'm Tina McIntosh in studio with Candace Hattabaugh. We'll be back here in just a moment. Hey, everybody, you're listening to Caregiver Crossing. Thanks for sticking around. I am Tina McIntosh. I'm in studio with my friend and coworker. What's your name?
Oh, thank you. Candace Hattabaugh.
We were talking right before the break about an article that was written by Kat McGowan, and it came out in July of this year on NPR. Called Hospital at Home Trend Means Family Caregiver. I keep saying family caregivers. We're going to try that one again. Hospital at Home Trend means family members must be caregivers, ready or not. So this trend is about you have a loved one who's in the hospital for any kind of extended stay, and they don't need the critical care provided in the hospital. So you bring them home with whatever equipment that they need and whatever medical visits that they need, but you become the caregiver at home. And usually, let's be honest, when you're in the hospital, you don't always see that coming. And so there are a couple things I want to talk about here. This was brought into kind of mainstream conversation and happenings after COVID. Candace, I thought you made in the last segment an incredible observation that does this have anything to do with the nursing shortage that we've experienced? Maybe. And so in this article from Mayo's Polson is the name, has similar suggestions. And they said, if you're the caregiver, is it going to drive you crazy if people are going in and out of your home? Are you okay with that? Also, if you live in a rural area, a nurse or a paramedic may take up to 30 minutes to arrive, which could be scary in some situations.
Wow. That's life or death for some situations.
I mean, let's be honest. When you're in the hospital, you push that little button. It might take your nurse 4 minutes to get in there and you complain about it.
Yeah.
But that's 26 less minutes than 30, because I'm really good at math. So, there are definitely limits to this, but really what it does to you as the caregiver is kind of where we're setting in this conversation. And so wanted to talk about some suggestions. If you choose to do this, I think this is translatable to hospice as well.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
And not that this means somebody's dying in this situation, but hospice, in-home hospice care, like it feels like a transferable conversation for things you can do to really protect yourself and your loved one if you have somebody in your home who's requiring any kind of care. And so one, if you can, I highly recommend that even a couple nights a week, you have somebody that comes in at night so that you can sleep. And if it can't be night, make it during the day, And
I think that goes really far. And that could just be a grandchild, someone, it doesn't have to necessarily be a paid person per se, but just someone that can just check on mom or dad, whoever it might be, every few minutes, every hour or so, just so you can sleep through the night.
Or sleep in the recliner next to the person who's the patient, right? So that if there's a need, they need a water, they need a painkiller, whatever it is, if someone's right there. I also want you to realize your limits, and it's okay to say no. Candace read from the article a very broad range. I think it was 10 to 62.
10 to 62% of people don't necessarily want to do this.
Yeah, and it's okay to say no.
For a reason, yeah.
So if they say, "Hey, you're eligible for hospital at home. Here's everything you'll need. It'll be fine." If it's a broken ankle, that's one thing. If it's something more, just know your limits. And so years ago, when we had our first run of having Caregiver Crossing as a radio show, we had a woman who had written a book and came in and talked about her husband at home. Now, he was on hospice. He was actively dying. But every week she would host a happy hour. Do you remember this? Mm-hmm. I loved it.
Catherine Lee Scott.
Look at you.
Last Dance at the Savoy. I
am so impressed right now.
Don't be.
Wow. That really is impressive. All I knew is it started with a K. And she talked about when her husband was actively dying, she would host this happy hour once a week. Something like this you could do in your own home during this hospital at home or hospice, whatever it is. But this concept was the medications get put away. The patient gets dressed, cleaned up and dressed. You light some candles. You have some hors d'oeuvres and some drinks out.
Yeah.
And for that hour or 2 or 3 or whatever works for you, you're not there talking about the person who is ill or is dying. I mean, you're talking about them, but you're not talking about that process, right?
Like,
in healthcare.
How are you feeling? Like, what's the doctor saying? No, you're just there in the moment with this person and their family, really.
I love it. Say her name again.
Catherine Lee Scott.
She had been on Star Trek. Is that right?
Uh-huh. And it's the Last Dance at the Savoy, and this idea came about because the Savoy was a bar or a nightclub that her and her husband would go to weekly with friends. And when he progressed in his diagnosis and couldn't get out anymore, she said, I'm going to bring this to you. So they got dressed up, like Tina said, and they had their drinks, and the friends came over, and they didn't talk about his diagnosis. They just did the thing.
I also recommend in your home that you have some kind of a safe room. And I'm not talking about like some thick cement door that has, cans of beans and bottles of water.
That's what I went to. That's what I went to.
But what a safe room I'm talking about is a room that just in general, when you're in that room, you're not talking about healthcare. You're not talking about any of, you don't have any of the signs of it out. You don't have a log or medications and things. Like, it is just your safe place where you can go. And if anybody comes into that room, they know that's off limits.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
You're talking about other things. And last is, if you do this option, make sure you leave your house. Get some other care for your loved one, or make sure they're tucked away and doing well. And go to the grocery, or go for a drive, or a walk, or go for a drink with a friend. Do whatever it is you need to do, but make sure you are getting out of your house, because you can become very quickly kind of a prisoner to this.
Yeah, and I liken that to what we tell new moms, like, if the baby will not stop crying and you're just at your wit's end, walk away. Same thing for caring for an adult. If you just are about to snap, just walk away.
It's a lot. And there are a lot of great things to this hospital at home trend. Don't get me wrong. I see a lot of the benefits. I do have some concerns, and I'm glad we're going to get Sarah Reinhardt, is that?
Yep.
From AARP on the show. Sarah, if you're listening,
talk to you soon.
We're calling. All right. I know we've got to go here. Remember to nominate a caregiver. We are having our Deserving Caregiver Award coming up, and we want your nominations. And so send those to me at tina@joycehouse.org.
Join us next week as we welcome to the Joyce House studio Christina McGark. She's a single mother with a daughter living with exceptional needs, and is the author of the article Senior Mama's Scene, recently published in Special Needs Living. She's going to share her story and support for all those moms out there, single or not, who are raising children with special needs. Make sure you tune in next week.
All right. And we want to thank our sponsor. If you want to know how to join us as a sponsor, email me at tina@joycehouse.org. But this week, we want to say thank you to Cardon and Associates. Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized care. We would not be here without them, and so we're so grateful. Until next time, take good care of each other.